I think I may have actually found my favourite Christmas film of all time. Hi, my name's Drew and welcome to another review video on Flying Wiener. I know Christmas has passed, but I thought, this film coming out on Hogmanay at the end of the year, you do have still the Christmas and the festive spirit. I mean, at least in Austria it continues on until you get rid of the Christmas tree, which is around the 6th of January. So I think this is still very fitting, particularly because, as I mentioned in the intro, I may have found my favourite Christmas film of all time. Rather late to the game. Usually I would expect that in most cases you find that kind of film in your very early years, and that probably persists from childhood till well, death, I suppose. But yes, this was actually a film I had heard about when it came out, but then it kind of, I don't know, it just somehow slipped from my memory, from my mind. Haven't heard about it since. My wife suggested that we watch it, and I just jumped on board because, yes, why not? It looked interesting enough, at least from the title picture. Now, this film that we are talking about now is called Klaus. It's a Netflix film, or at least Netflix bought the rights to distribute it. It is, very interestingly, a Spanish film made by a Spanish person, which to me is rather strange because, I don't know, when I think of Spain, I don't see them as people who really celebrate the traditional Santa Claus story with toys and the cold and all these kind of elements. But yes, that is where the film came from, and it seems that they struggled for a while to find financiers and distribution, etc., until Netflix picked it up, and even went all the way to becoming an Oscar-nominated film. So, it was definitely a very good play on Netflix's part. So what is it about, apart from the traditional story? What I like about this film is that it's very much trying to be grounded in reality. Now, fantastical stories are great. Obviously, Santa Claus is also with very, very many fantastical elements. Here they try to give us a more realistic explanation of how the whole tale and mythos of Santa Claus came to be. And I'll be honest, I really, really enjoy it, because if a sort of reality grounded story is told very well and built up, structured very well, I really like those kind of things. And this is a very good example of that kind of thing. Our main character here, his name is Jesper, and he is currently in the Royal Post Academy, I'll call it. It's where they train all sorts of postmen to work throughout, I believe it's Norway, I'm not quite sure. I'm not sure if they actually ever mentioned the country, but it's supposed to be a sort of Scandinavian region. I read that they based the town that it's set in, they based it on a Danish, Norwegian port city, and they added a letter, I think it was. And yeah, but it's supposed to be a Scandinavian town. So this guy Jesper, he's just trying to get through his education in this postal academy. His father seems to be the big guy there, the director of it all, and he is quite disappointed in his son because he is just basically doing anything in his power, I mean Jesper in this case, to fail at absolutely every assignment, because he is used to, with his father obviously being a very influential and rich person, he is used to just lying at home, getting served breakfast in bed, and just profiting from this high society life, the silver spoon that he grew up with. And his father is very disappointed in this because he is hoping that he will find his own way in life, and ultimately hoping that Jesper will find a way to stand on his own 2 feet. So to teach him a lesson, so he is sent off to Smeerensborg. It's this island with just one small town on it, and Jesper's task for there, he's supposed to be there for a year, and he is supposed to, all in all, have around 6,000 postal deliveries made, from the townspeople to the townspeople, what have you. He tries to make the postal service a success there. That is his task, which he is given. And we quickly learn that this is not going to be easy in this town, because this town has got a big rivalry between 2 families going on. So from the start, you have a lot of tension. It's not like people are going to be sending each other nice letters all the time. And with them being a very remote island, they don't generally have a lot of reasons to send off post. So Jesper struggles a lot in the start, and he finds, while he's wandering out in the wood, he finds this lone house, this big house, and this scary looking guy, massive guy, wielding an axe, who interestingly enough has a huge workshop of old wooden toys. So I won't go into big detail because I don't want to spoil it, but through various circumstances, Jesper and this big scary looking man whose name is Klaus, they get to work together to bring the toys that Klaus has made to children. Now, I think that is pretty much all I'll tell you about the actual plot of the story, because I do find that the way they reinvent certain elements of the classical tale is what makes it so interesting. It's at least what I really enjoyed about it. So I don't want to spoil that for you. Just know that generally speaking, it goes more or less, at least the beats that we have seem to be the typical beats, but it's really fun to find out what they do, and it's just a very unique setting. At the start of the film, it doesn't even feel like a Christmas film, because we come into this town of Smeerensburg, and it's actually very, very dark looking. It's a very dangerous place. It doesn't even feel like a children's film at first, because you actually even see people being dragged away in a body bag, you know, so certain elements at the start particularly, I would say that for children probably they need to be a bit older to really get all of it, otherwise I don't think it might be something for the youngest children. I don't think so. That is something that I would tell you straight off the bat. And it's just interesting to see what happens with this town, because again, it doesn't look like a typical setting, but it slowly turns into something else, and it's really fun just to watch how the whole thing develops, because you're never quite sure how are they going to tackle certain issues of the classic tale. Obviously I would love to talk about them, but no spoilers, and again I do feel that it's a lot more fun to just see and go, oh yeah, because that moment of realization, oh, this is how they're spinning the tale. To me that was just a lot of fun in this film. What makes it stand out, besides just being very creative in that way, is the animation. I read up that they were going for a very classical animation style, so they tried to stay away. I'm not sure if they entirely did or used it only sparingly or whatnot. They tried to stay away from computer graphics, which obviously nowadays is the real standard everywhere. They went for a very traditional style, and I noticed immediately from the start, I thought this looks very much like a Disney film that I would have enjoyed in my childhood, you know, sort of 90s era. It looks very much like that. You've got lovely, beautiful, warm colours. Generally, you've got the sun is used amazingly, because as you can imagine, I mean, with snowy places, the sun just looks great when it's reflected on it, and they make really good use of this medium and the sun. So the animation style is also something that drew a lot of attention to the film, and it's well deserved in my opinion. I think it's just a stunningly beautiful film to look at. It really helps. That, with the creative choices they made, just made this a very unique film, and it's I'm actually glad that I rediscovered it. It's a shame that I forgot about it for 2 years. It came out in 2019, and like I say, back then I heard about it but forgot about it, and now I suppose I might even rewatch it every year, I would think. You've got fabulous actors throughout, so all the characters I feel are very likeable, even if they're supposed to be villains. But you've got wonderful acting throughout, so there's a lot of heart being put into this. You can really feel it, and it's just through and through a very enjoyable tale. That'll be all from me, so a very, very high recommendation. If you haven't seen it, if you've got particularly older kids, I believe you should check it out. It's just a lot of fun. The more you are used to the classical Christmas tale, I feel the more you will enjoy this, because you recognise the certain beats that are placed throughout the story, and it's just so much fun to see how they try and really take an original approach at all these things. So I'll thank you for watching this very first video in the new year. With that, I of course wish you a happy new year. We will be continuing, of course, all sorts of film reviews, drone videos. Once I'm able to get out and film again with the drone, they'll be coming as well. Roundup videos, review roundups. I'll continue doing all this stuff. It's still a lot of fun for me, so thank you for sticking with me on this journey. We're coming close to the 2nd anniversary of the channel, which is really exciting. So stay tuned. If you enjoyed this video, like, share and subscribe. It continues to be the best way to support this channel, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.